Well, the Huskers got back to work here on Monday. Hi, Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com as they get ready to head out to Oregon on Friday. And we got a chance to hear from defensive coordinator Bob Diaco for the first time since Saturday's opening win against Arkansas State. And Diaco had some pretty choice words to start things out about some media members that called him out for missing his media session following Saturday's win.
I was under the impression that I didn't have to do post-game media. That's what I was told. So, but I wanted to come here and just address that piece because contrary to at least what was depicted, I've never run away from anything in my life. I've never not stood up and been accountable and responsible to my work and what I'm been entrusted to do. That's never happened and hasn't and will not ever happen. So to be painted in that light or that way is just absolutely ridiculous and very disappointing to me. And from your perspective, I could see with a lack of communication and a miscommunication that was your perspective. So I'm not even upset with what was said or written or whatever. It's a product of a lack of communication and miscommunication.
As for the game itself, Diaco said it really didn't go to plan, but obviously they got things figured out for the win.
We try to build the plan to keep the points down, so at the end of the game, we have one more point than our opponent. That's the defensive objective, to defend the opponent's scoreboard, the scoreboard, and how we need to win the game. In some instances, discretion is the better part of valor. And what could be seen as trying to stop the opponent ends up working against you when you have a particular opponent and a particular style play. So we built a game plan, articulated to the players. They did a wonderful job in game one putting it together. They were fantastic, just like they've been since the moment that I met them. I've heard conversations from other people about all kinds of stuff. We have really, really wonderful young men. They're talented. There's some inexperience, but they're going to gain valuable experience. They gained valuable experience on Saturday evening.
And nobody was happy about the way Nebraska played defensively on Saturday. In fact, we even saw the coaches following practice doing up-downs with the players.
Yep.
Why?
Oh, that's top secret.
Was it practice related or game related?
Game related.
I didn't, but I thought about it. But I was like, they messed up, not me. Nah, I'm just playing. We all messed up together.
But
we all messed up together. No, I took the day off. I'm pretty sure I'll get suspended for that, but I took the day off.
And with the good and the bad that came out of Saturday's game, linebackers coach Trent Braze said they're really put in a lot of different situations that are going to help this football team out down the road.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great when you can get put in stress in situations and come out on top. We got put in, I mean, probably every situation in football the other night. I mean, kickoff after a safety of our own, having to rebound after a touchdown on special teams, being put out there after a recovered onside kick, having to win the game on defense. So there was just so many situations that you may never get in the season we got in one night that we can really learn from.
One interesting comment that corners coach Dante Williams made following Monday's practice is he's rarely ever been around a team that has thrown the ball as much as the Red Wolves did this past Saturday night.
We didn't really know what they were going to do. We knew that they was going to take their turns passing the ball. Like, they threw the ball 68 times. I don't think I've ever been involved in a game that threw the ball 68 times. That's a lot. So, I mean, it's almost to the point their pass game was their run game. I mean, it wasn't too much of a message. All I could think about is they threw the ball 68 times. I mean, I came to this conference thinking everybody, the max they throw is 30 times, and I'm playing on a conference game, they throw the ball 68. So, I mean, I feel like I was back in the Pac-12.
And despite the yards that were given up, a lot of it was within the game plan for Nebraska. We've heard it now from multiple people. The Huskers' game plan defensively was to keep everything in front of them and not allow big plays down the field.
We didn't give up any deep balls. I mean, it was all like a lot of yak, but it was what we wanted. We wanted to keep the ball in front of us. I mean, the one explosive play they had in the pass game, I believe, was 29 yards, and it was on a missed tackle by one of my guys. So, I mean, that's only going to get cleaned up. He'll tackle better, and we all will tackle better. I mean, and that won't happen. But we kept the ball in front of us, and from linebacker, I mean, so you see that play, it was 3 linebackers that hawked the receiver down. So it shows that we do have some speed on our defense right now.
I think for the first game that not giving up any balls over, the safety said was a good thing. So we want to keep that going.
We had a plan to have them put plays together, as many as they needed to, that eventually a drive would stall, an error would happen, interception, a third down we got off the field, a red zone stop, and that was going to be the tail of the tape, rather than tying down on those players with inexperienced, talented players on fire for their work, smart players that we love, but new players to the game against some large physical receivers. So we were excited about the plan. We executed the plan and won the game.
As for special teams, you can make a case that it was one of the better games ever for sophomore punter Caleb Lightbourne.
Caleb's worked extremely hard to be consistent with his muscle memory and to consistently have the leg swing that he needs on all facets, right? Because you're talking about he had a punt where we were inside the 7-yard line. He had another punt where we were inside the plus 30, 40-yard line, another punt where we were on the plus 40-yard line. So there were a lot of different field positions, and he has different mechanics for each, and he's tried to be consistent with his mechanics, and I think that showed. I think he would even say that he can even be more consistent, but first game we thought that he's in the right direction, and we were happy with the things that he did.
As for injuries here on Monday, running back Trey Bryant and wide receiver DeBornay Pearsonell were held out for precautionary reasons. With the Huskers here in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.